Cancer, Mercury retrograde. I'm wanting to check in with a few groups, and that's because each of us are on our own actual journey. Each of us are going through individual challenges, and I feel it's necessary at times to actually tune into each pocket so that we can see what exactly is happening. Hi guys, how are you? Welcome. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we're going to tune into the twin flame energy. Obviously, each of you are on your own path and own journey, so I will answer questions during the session. And I know that everyone is feeling slightly triggered, frustrated, paranoid about Mercury retrograde and how it's going to directly correlate with what's going on with you guys. How are we all, guys? Lots has been going on, especially with the energy. And how do I put it? It's a bit like, you know, again, depending on where you are in the journey, whether you're in contact, whether you're not. Like I said, when I've got time, I will be incorporating other videos on the other channel. And that's so that whenever you are dealing with an issue, you can jump onto that and you can look at it and it can help you actually understand where you're at. A lot of us are getting frustrated. Again, it really doesn't change anything. Be it you with the person, you're not, you're in contact, you're not. When the trigger points come through, the trigger points come through, and they all do directly correlate with ourselves. Yes, the direct situation can trigger ourselves and how we can get grounded in the situation. Yeah, it is ups and downs, and there's a lot of external situations. There's a lot of it is quite hectic and quite busy, so we run ourselves down. Very old energies coming through, as well as old blocks, but that is going to be pretty relevant for March regardless. So, you know, it could be trigger points and miscommunication. Again, that's really kind of when I say it's minute, you know, to even define it to that level is quite minute. Hello, Jennifer. Definitely on my side of the fence, I have been experiencing that in varying degrees, but it's already happening well and truly before we're in the thick of Mercury retrograde. So a lot of home truths are going to start coming through to you from various individuals. And interestingly enough, I always mention that we are the mirror. So what you're going to find is when these things are happening, it's going to give you, and it's really strange because although Mercury is going to be retrograde, a lot of what come through in the readings was correct communication, and that was coming through in every zodiac sign. And most of the cards were upright, which to me, if you're in the high vibration, it means even in an imperfect situation, we can handle it with tact. And I think it really does come to us being consciousness enough to understand where the trigger's coming from, what the issue and the snag in the road is, and how we can at a higher vibration deal with it in the most appropriate manner. As I said, definitely on my side of the fence, I have been experiencing situations to that degree, very external to the twin flame journey, but it all is very relevant to it. So anything in a sense of an energy coming towards you is part of your lesson, part of your life, and it's attracted to you. So when it comes to you, it's almost like you need to take the challenge. So it's like, okay, well, this has come towards us. How do we need to directly deal with this 3D situation? Dense 3D energy at the moment. So when people are triggering us and testing us and trying to get us back to that old codependent pattern, that the old patterning, I'd say, and especially with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, a lot of family dynamics are coming up, and it might be who our tribe is, our friendship groups changing. We're sensing when people are at lower vibration, and we've given them a few tries, and we've really looked at it and we've tried to be fair, but past that point, it's about standing up for ourselves, similar to Mercury, and with the Aries frequency in Chiron, it's hey, yes, okay, we've dealt with these wounds, but now it's almost because you're at that higher vibration, people are testing you. It's really hard when they're wishing you to go back over old ground, and you know that you've risen beyond that point and you've evolved and you're having the aha epiphany moments, And you're finding it very sad to actually see certain individuals at that frequency. Now, the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. If you're dealing with your twin flame and you're getting very frustrated and you're saying, Jesus, this person going to change? Is my twin going to change? Yes, they are. But your belief system and your thought pattern is an aspect of what's blocking it from a spiritual point of view. It's a hard thing because, if you talk to a psychologist, this is just being honest from an external point of view, they'd say you're batshit crazy. Ultimately speaking, if you believe in the twin flame path and manifestation, it is very much it's a 5D thing as well as a 3D thing. But when we get too dense in the 3D energy, we tend to rationalize situations. And it's a bit like the X-Files. Some things do not have an explanation. So, you're trying to rationalize the unexplainable. And accepting that fact that some things can't be explained. It's a vibration. With your vibration, if it's semi-off, hello Canada, it can questions get asked to me in relation to how to jump, okay? How to get to a point where you can get ahead and be in union. A lot of it does come down to mindset. And, I really had to meditate upon how I've been going in my life and things that I've experienced within my journey. And a lot of what did come up was my mindset. And, it's when you actually look back and you see things that you've dealt with and the way it came about when recontact came about. It was really about releasing. It was about sheer exhaustion, battle with the ego, and resolving it and dissolving it to a point you're exhausted and you've released it. And it's really quite a sad way of looking at it, but it's actually very relaxing when you do succumb to letting go of aspects of trigger points. So it can be anything to the degree of saying, well, if the person comes back in this shape or form, yes, I will accept them. Again, it's trying to define it in some shape or form because you're actually not trusting in the process. And the whole aspect with the ego is, this is my wound body. This is the pain body experience. I've now created a wall. So if a similar situation comes about, it's preventing you from having to relive that situation. It's almost like a fake perspective the mind has given you to believe that if you have that warning system there and you react in the same way every given time, you can never experience that vibration again, so you're safe. What you're actually doing when we're in that frequency is you're preventing any further growth and using the tools that you've been given in the future with a direct different situation. It's almost like we're conditioned to believe that anytime that frequency goes off, it's exactly the same. Okay, so when you can get to the point you can detach from that and trust in universe, that universe would never give you anything you can't handle. As soon as you are vibrationally ready, you can move into that union. It is very much about getting to a point where you can go, okay, it may not look on their side of the fence like anything's happening, but how do I know? Vibrationally, if you're away from ego, you can tune into it and you can rationally see the paradigm, but you do have control. And a lot of what we do study in psychology and understand is, where are we being the rescuer? Where are we being the victim? With those patterns, if you look at it, check in with yourself during that time. And it's okay to be in a pain body experience, especially when you're triggered. But what you do need to get to a point is, how much energy am I giving to self-sabotage in my mind with this given situation because my vibration is low? And it's okay to feel that temporarily, but if it becomes a topsy-turvy thing where it's up and down, it's very toxic. So, and it's for yourself. It's not that it's wrong. We all go through it. But it's finding a way to have that self-talk and go, okay, what's really going on here right now? Is this going to help you, or are you going into, overwhelm mode, really. That's the best way I can say it. And it's not about having faith. It's really releasing it to the point where it's a knowingness, that that person is for you, but that comes down to you on your side of the fence of what your direct belief system is. Nobody can ever tell you who to love. Nobody can ever tell you that it's right or wrong. When you're fighting with your ego, yes, they're going to tell you that. And then you directly are having a war with yourself. When you can accept it the way it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and just have your life get in alignment. Okay? Checking in with yourself is the most profound tool you can use to manage your twin flame journey. Getting grounded is the most profound tool you can use to do that. And yes, you can come to me and I can help you, and I can privately explain situations I've been through, which can give you some aspect of hope. But ultimately speaking, it's your journey. So you trusting in your knowing that you have this connection with this person, it means that you're in the correct vibration, but you're trusting, you're building a relationship with your third eye and with your heart chakra. Heart chakra, when you do the work on it, it will be very painful because you're releasing the pain body experience, you're releasing the hurt, you're releasing the fears that perhaps, and a lot of abandonment related issues are coming up at the moment. You know, anything to do with childhood wounds. Definitely with the nodes being in Cancer, childhood, parents, feminine energies, our ego, it's very heavy. Hi, Ange. So, you know, when you're looking at it, we are having conflict with family members. We are having conflict at times with our children, with mother-father energies. We're moving into Mercury retrograde, so it's only going to get more intense. But in your higher consciousness, if you understand you did the work last year, yes, you do need to speak your truth. And some of those truths might be coming out, and they may have already started coming out in the last few weeks. And it may be something that you were tolerant towards for a very long time. You were patient towards for a very long time. But you as your own parent towards yourself, you may come to a point where you verbally feel you need an experience like that today. And it was very... it was directly connected to family, but at the same time, it was a very frustrating situation. But, you know, sometimes when we look at people who are connected to us, they can be our tribe, they can be our family, and we've done the work. It's very sad when we do see they're stuck, you know, and there will be, when we choose to change, it's for our betterment. It actually frees us, and that's the sad truth. It's like when you do see a person quite stuck, and when we are stuck, what we do need to realize is you're actually imprisoning yourself, and it's a very harsh way to live, because you're becoming very strict with yourself. You're micromanaging yourself. It can prevent you having the most ultimate wonderful job. It can prevent you from having the most understanding, compassionate connections. And we're having relationships with everyone. Being intimate with a person doesn't mean to say that you're not in a relationship. We directly, at all times, with any given person we are connected to, we are having a relationship. So when you're getting triggered that you haven't been intimate with your twin, you need to let that go. And that's a you side of the fence. When you're having issues with family, they're your relationship as well. You know, it's your children, they're your relationship, your co-workers, your relationship. But you are the nav man of those relationships. So when we do get stuck, it's very frightening when we think we're stuck, we can't change. How are we going to get out of this situation? You will if you hate it, because you'll get to a point you're punishing yourself because you're literally choosing to do something because of society, because of a bill. And yes, it does get scary because sometimes we do have to take a leap of faith. But when we're operating from that nav man at all times, it becomes debilitating. And there are pockets of people in society that we will see, and it will be very frustrating to witness, and it'll be very sad. It's like watching someone's funeral, because they refuse to see that they are imprisoning themselves with their hate, their anger, their fear. And the reality is, to get past that point, yes, you do have to go through pain, because you are literally facing all your deepest, darkest moments. And that is an aspect of the twin flame journey. Be it you do or you don't believe in twin flame journey, people in general, unless we can come to a place where we can be conscious and we can release our wounds, we're living zombies, and it's really not a nice place to be. It took me a very long time to understand. And, you know, when I say we don't own anyone, traditional society was, we got married, we had the white picket fence, theoretical, and hey, it was a given. We were going to be together till death do us part. But you could, on those occasions, get with a person and, because of what society said, detached from the notion of love and being there because of what was appropriate and acceptable. Very empty way to live. Very, very empty way to live. So how do I put it? What am I trying to get to here? If we are choosing to say that because we are a particular age and we have children and we're married, yes, modern society is, you know, and it can be particular religions as well, but my mother always taught me, don't get into religion. To believe so firmly that because you are in an environment that is appropriate and acceptable, and then you become unhappy and you have worked and worked and worked at that situation, and nothing you can do can get you there. You are not doing yourself, your children, or anybody else any favors. You're living a zombie. I'm saying you're living a zombie. And yes, we do need to get to a point where we realize there will be pain. Would you rather live in a situation where it's what's acceptable silently, like you're a person in a coffin, till the day you die? Or would you rather actually face your fears, take a leap of faith, and know you tried before you died? It's, you know, and this is really where we're at. I mean, a lot of you in the twin flame journey are going, it's never going to happen. If you can't believe in yourself and believe in the connection, no, it will never happen. It will never happen. And the reality is, with any relationship, there is a risk that it can fail. So when you have fear-based frequencies moving into it and you think, good gosh, I'm going to get here, and because of X, Y, and Z in the past, they've left and they're never going to be here, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Would you rather have 20 months worth of beauty, or would you rather have a cemented reality that is very traditional, which could potentially end up being a karmic relationship and still end regardless? It depends on what your value system is and how much you love a person and what you are willing to do to make you happy, because it's actually not about the person. It's actually more about what you feel is the best for you. But we are our soul teachers, Darry. Okay? We are our own soul teachers. Nobody can tell you what's best. And if we have to go all the time to other people, we actually don't know ourselves. And we actually don't love ourselves enough to say, Sodja, this is what is right for me. And you may love those people unconditionally, but it is not their life to live. And they may judge you, but it is not their life to live. They had their time. It's their time. You must love yourself. You know, so I wrote a post on Facebook today, and it said, love your parents because they could die tomorrow. And I do love my parent, but it always goes both ways. You know, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. You can love that parent unconditionally, but it needs to be reciprocal. We have relationships. Just because we're blood, it doesn't mean to say it gives any person a vibrational right to treat you less. And if they do, then you as a person need to take accountability for that side of the fence. And at times, even when we're in karmic relationships and we're thinking to ourselves, okay, I don't want to be here. I'm so very scared. What if I don't have money? I've got a child. How am I going to do this? You do. You just do. But if you don't move, it's never going to be. And that can be for anybody. And it's only, I'm talking very general because of obviously people's experience, the collective, and you do not want to live your life for somebody else. Even a twin flame journey. I am not living my life for my twin. My twin has his own light. My soulmates have had their own light. I have had to find my own light. We get so scared of it when we hear it in the twin flame journey because we're so down to the T of, no, but it's about the love story, because we're in fear-based frequency of the old paradigm that no, we want what everybody else has in society, the white picket fence, the 4 kids, the marriage, and if we don't have that, then somehow we've missed the train. What is the train? What's your train? What's your belief system? It may be that you have to look back and say, hey, yes, okay, while I've been in this transition on this journey, I've had the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've had wonderful people in my life. I've had memories, and I'm deeply grateful for them. I've had partnerships, and so is my twin. So your life isn't a waste. And if you're looking at it only from one perspective and you're not choosing to live in the moment, you could miss the job of a lifetime. You do still have to live. And it's, if you are in your truth about that connection and you're open and you're purged, it's coming to you. It will directly open up to a point where it will vibrationally come to you naturally, and you will not have to manifest it because you are in vibrational alignment. Does that make sense? And it's not about being perfect. We do, through the healing process in our life, believe that we need to be perfect in order to manifest that. It's not true. We need to be at peace with ourselves and open and compassionate and understanding. And we're not perfect. Not one of us, on this planet are perfect, including twin flames. We don't perfectify ourselves. We get to a self-awareness state. We grow up mentally. Does that make sense? But we miss the train when we don't learn to trust our intuition. And yes, people do change. I mean, I spent 10 months purging last year with all of you, and it was the greatest blessing of my life, probably the most profound journey, like 7 years in Tibet. That's really what it felt like. And there was a lot of ironies about the situation that I had never, I guess, been comfortable being by myself, but I'd never thought about it because people had always needed me, or I was always doing something. I was always the go-to person. And even when I had wanted to have that moment to myself, I feared it. So it wasn't that I was afraid to be alone. I've traveled the world by myself. I've gone to Thailand and had surgery by myself. I'm not an insecure person as per se. But to have a moment where everything has been stripped away from you and you're living in a home alone and you're choosing not to associate with people in general, and not through fear-based frequency, through literally getting to a point where it was like, wow, you've got to do some work. You need to be comfortable with waking up by yourself and not being afraid. I've dined in restaurants by myself. I've traveled the world by myself. I've gone to the movies by myself. I've gone to a bar by myself. I raised a child by myself. We come into this world alone and we do go out of the world alone. But in the spirit world, no, we're not. We're always with. We're always connected because we're energy. So we need to drop the fear-based frequency of being alone because we're never alone. It's a fear-based frequency. Any questions? Has anything been coming up for anyone where you've been feeling vibrationally triggered? Which is a given. Thank you for the likes, guys, because it does share it with other twins and this can help them. Look, each of the moons, yes, they can correlate with individual things. But at the same time, any point you make an energetic shift, it can come to you. Any point. Again, it's looking outside of ourselves. Look at the astrology. 0 degrees is usually a new beginning. Okay? Being in Libran, yes, it can be a new beginning because it's the balance. But we need to look at the other surrounding planets of what they're doing as well. And they're doing funky things. So it can be good, it can be bad, but it's how you handle the energy. It's like saying it's raining and you're going out wearing a t-shirt and shorts. You're going to get wet. Being aware of it can help your vibration, similar to Mercury retrograde. The funny thing is, it's a full moon, which is a purge, and it's at 0 degrees, which is a new beginning. You might need to let something go, and it can be a vibration, in order to let something come in. So it depends on where you are vibrationally. I know a lot of us at the moment are throwing things out, moving, shifting our mindset. And some of us are even getting to a point where we're saying to ourselves, do I need to know what's going to happen tomorrow? You know, especially when you get too far ahead of yourself and you're used to being in the moment. It's like, yes, the necessity this year is us looking at the 3D. But again, we are coming to a place where we're trying to come back to ourselves and not getting overwhelmed. And we had so many retrogrades last year that the only way we can cope with things is dealing with the tasks directly in front of us. Jupiter does tend to make us quite flighty. So we do need to, we've got so much going on, so we're feeling quite scattered. And it's funny, I also almost picked the Jupiter energy a bit like Libra, but without the scale being balanced, where there's the creativity, there's the beauty, there's the growth, but there's not the balance because we choose to start too many tasks, or there's too many things coming at us. But because the nodes are in Cancer and Capricorn, it's about the maturity, the growth. It can be the stubbornness. It can be us asserting our own individuality, as well as us getting to a point where, you know, we're dealing with family-related dynamics, the base chakra, the grounding, us starting a new future, however that may look. It's, again, I totally agree with you, and that's part of the reason, Giggle, why I have done this live session, is because, look, we've all been in that frequency. We're all paranoid because of the last 3 years. Like I said, it's due to the fact we're moving into the age of Aquarius. None of us have ever experienced this. It's all very unique. It's not just connected to Twin Flame journey. But we do need to trust that we have learnt lessons and we are different people today. If we keep fearing we're going to be the same frequency, then we're manifesting it ourselves unintentionally through fear-based frequency. We're manifesting it. Look, a new is coming in, and the vibration this March is going to be different to last March. But you need to let go. And if there is a trigger point coming up, it's directly relevant to you. It's relevant to what's going on. A lot of people are trying to balance at the moment. Librans were going through a 7-year karmic cycle. We have moved out of that, and it should be by March, April. So it should be getting better, okay? March is still going to be difficult, but Mercury retrograde, you know, in shadow and all the rest of it, you're looking at about 2 months. We do have retrogrades happening in April as well, and that's with other planets. So Saturn, you know, whatever we didn't get right, we're going to be showing in April. I believe, don't quote me, but it's 3 of the major planets are going retrograde, which I will do an update about that. I believe it's Jupiter, and it might be Uranus as well. Which again, as you know, Getting back to the 3D, what do we need to meditate about? Look at it as a pause button to reflect back on what is and what isn't working. You don't have to look at it as a tower moment. If the tower moment's coming, it's because something wasn't in alignment. And that's okay. It means there's room for rebuild. If you have the connection, nothing can ever take that away from you. Nothing will ever take that away from you. So the 0 degree is a new beginning, but it can be endings in order to have new beginnings. Also, this spirit world will be very intense coming through this month. So you will feel the energies of the dead who have passed over being very relevant in the realm. So you will see more of them. Your telepathic communication with your loved ones will be there, especially with your soulmate twin flames. If you're directly spiritually connected, you will have more dreams because you will be astro traveling. And, you know, we tend to look at astro travel as you're flying. It happens in various ways, depending on how you use your gift. We all are very unique in the way we have our gift. I can do mine through visually looking at an image, and then I can directly have an astro projection where I'm jumping outside of myself into the future. I also do it in the sleeping realm, as well as with meditation, and you can go forwards and backwards. So it depends on how you use your gift, and it comes in multiple ways at various times. Of course, therapists can, you know, because part of the aspect is removing your wounds. And look, even from a very separate point of view of coming to a whole place at peace with yourself. I mean, it's a great investment for oneself. I was blessed enough to have spiritual people who were working with me who did have that background and training. So it helped me to become quite mindful of my own shit on my side of the fence, which was very humbling, very painful to go through. And you'll find whenever you're digging up dirt in your wound, it is painful, but it's very enlightening, and you become very light after. It can be if the situation becomes too heavy. The catalyst does mean you need to be the catalyst in order to stop the trend of the connection remaining the same. I have to read that comment. Okay. Opinion on seeing a traditional therapist or twin flame troubles. I feel like it is making me more throaty and ego-based than not helping. It's hard because, like, a therapist, how do I put it? A therapist is going to call you out on the codependent patterns. So if you can look at the codependent patterns and you can say, okay, what can I do? Hi, Barbie. What can I do on my side of the fence to change my vibration? What you will find in the difference in a twin flame journey is some of it can look like a narcissist. And yes, okay, if there is violence, yes, 100%. You need to step away. That person needs to resolve that. That's different. In your spiritual connection, what you will find is it will look toxic at times, unhealthy, but it's about taking your power back and trusting in it and not controlling it. And a lot of the control on your side of the fence or twin side of the fence can directly cause issues because we're controlling each other, and that isn't love. So when we do work individually through our things and we trigger each other to be able to bring those things up, we can come to a peaceful place where we're not projecting, pushing. We're having compassion, but we're also having our healthy boundaries. So separately, yes, to do that work as a human being, yes. The other aspect of things is knowing very separately the 5D of the spiritual connection. So it's like having two advisors. You know, they're going to tell you to actually move away. And yes, you do need to. If it's toxic, yes, you do need to, but you need to trust it doesn't break the connection. You need to trust that person has some work to do, and you need to focus on your 3D in the meantime while that process is happening. Does that make sense? So if you energetically can't release that person, universe will help that happen because it's not in alignment. But your fair-base frequency makes it to 3D. It's asking you to address the 3D, and it's asking you to be spiritual at the same time. I trust in the spiritual connection. No one believes me. They think I'm BS. But at the 3D, there's codependent pattern happening here. So I need to directly deal with that. So the key to it is dealing with your core wounds. Don't tolerate lower frequency dynamics. It's not being nasty to them. It's about getting back to you and trusting that whatever is yours, like a bird, set it free. If it's truly yours, it's coming back. Control's not love, but also you controlling it and saying, okay, pain body experience. This is the way we can look at it. The ego is like us being in ego, trying to manipulate the journey. So if we say a certain thing, it might trigger them and they'll run away. You get scared, so you stop saying things. That if you put your foot down, it's going to, lots of things. Do you know what I mean? So you stop being vibrationally yourself because you're trying to keep it all perfect, and you can't. It takes two to tango. So what you can control and what you know is your truth, you need to feel comfortable to be that energy. And when you can't, it's not an alignment. Does that make sense? So it's both. But a therapist is going to tell you that you need to purge the person, move along, and yes, it is energetically. The block is a you problem. The block is a them problem. But the spiritual connection cannot be defined by science. It's different. It's an energy. It's like trying to find evidence of the afterlife. Are we going to argue it? People believe in God, Allah, Jesus. Are we going to argue it? We can't. It's been in tradition for years. Some things can't be explained. So to then be told by a therapist this isn't real, well, sorry, you're not God, you're not Allah, you're not me, my vibrational truth. So it depends on where you want to go. Sometimes we do get to a point where we allow a person to tell us what it is so we can get triggered. You might go to a reader and they say to you, you're not a reader, okay? And then you wonder why that's happened. Universe has given it to you because you didn't believe you were. Because you were in question mode. So universe has given you a hand and said, okay, so if I told you that you weren't, would you still believe it? And then you sit back and you're angry about it and you're getting mad and you're thinking, how dare this person tell me? And then you come back to your truth. There's this spiritual connection. I'm getting downloads. I'm having visions. I'm having dreams. I go away. I don't hear from this person. They come back again. And all of us do have a connection. All of us are telepathic beings. But we don't trust in our third eye. We all have it. Hi, Jennifer. So yes, does this make sense? Is it helping everyone understand? Any other questions that you've been blocked with? There are pockets, yes, of masculines at the moment that are pretty bloody blocked. I'm going to tune into them. I'm telling you, they're directly dealing with the 3D at the moment, and it's pretty bloody heavy. There's a lot of responsibility going on. Another thing you need to ask yourself is, if we can get to the point where we're super triggered without contact, which is always possible, okay? Thanks, Ange, which is always possible. And we say, if they just called, if they just answered our phone, it will be okay. No, not really, because then it's a temporary fix, and you have to be honest to yourself. You do not want a temporary fix. You're not a coat hanger that has a beautiful cloth on it and it comes down and you know, and that's how you end up feeling, the coat hanger effect. So you're like, oh, suddenly, okay, I have that vibration back because it's the panicked energy that you need to deal with. So the reason twin doesn't come to you or a soulmate or an energy and you're waiting for a relationship to come in is because you're not in vibrational alignment. So when we believe, if they just bloody answered the phone, if they just came to me and reassured me everything was okay, if you don't believe it, how can it be okay? If you cannot believe without an inch of a doubt that this is your person, and yes, they care about you, they're doing this because they don't want to hinder you any further because they're blocked as well, and they can't deal with their challenges in their life, so how the hell are they going to give you what you need? And if you can't deal with your challenges on your side, which can be your fear-based frequency of, I don't think they can ever change. Are they ever going to get their shit together? Then it's not, again, you're sending that frequency out and they do sense it. It's a telephone line. It's a connection, you know. So check in with yourself each day and go, okay, what am I sending out today? I mean, I still have to, even within communication with mine, be mindful of that. And I know when I'm out of alignment and it's like, oh, you're in it right now. And, you know, we all are feeling very scattered, very scattered. And it's not fun. So getting back to what I was trying to say is understand that if your twin's contacting you and they're checking in with you and they're trying to give you a little bit and they're not being nasty, they're doing the right thing by you while they're with you, don't take it as your sloppy seconds or that you're just someone that they're mucking about. As soon as you get that vibration, again, you're stepping out of yourself and it's going into that panicked frequency. Savor in that moment and acknowledge the fact that that person has reached out to you and given you something, okay? And be in gratitude about that and hold that as a loving memory because, you know, like I say, we could get hit by a bus. Hold that as a loving memory and then go back to shifting your energy into the beauty of your life. And when they do call, talk to them, you know, talk to them at a very general level. Be that light wave for your own life, not for them, for your own life, but understand. The truth is 9 times out of 10 with the twin flame path, if you get the communication and then you're comfortable and then you get triggered the next time they communicate, they're seeing and they're being taught that each time they're giving a little and they're pulling that wall down and giving little and pulling the wall down, you're getting triggered because you want a mile, but they knowingly know until they can get their life together, they're going to let you down. So they retreat right back 360. Does that make sense? It's bloody hard and it isn't your fault. It's not your fault, but it's a trust thing. You know, it's building that trust between each other where you can be comfortable with each other. And look, again, you know, when you think they're in lower frequency and they're reaching out to you, they're choosing you. They're choosing you. It might be they've had a shitty day and they want to talk to you. They're choosing you. It's not rejection. They're actually protecting you because they could hurt you so much more by coming in and bringing the toxicity. You need to be a very strong individual to say, right now with all the shit the masculine's dealing with, if they could jump in the deep end with you and you could take it. You need to really ask yourself that question. The contact is a beginning point, but the expectation would be because you've waited, you want 100 miles to make up for what's been lost. That's vibrationally out of alignment. If you can't be patient and understand, what will happen is universe will give it to you and it'll look like a shit and mess. Because if they've got things on their side of the fence they need to deal with, they're going to bring that with them. And it's because you asked universe for it. And it's going to look like a shit show. Like I said, you do need to be very mindful that when they're tying up karmic ends and there's karmics directly involved, You need to be very adult to handle the maturity of that situation. And if you can barely handle no contact, how would you be in alignment to handle the heavy frequency of co-parenting, karmic energies? And they're past karmic energies, they're not new karmic energies. And you then have to, on top of that, face all your fear-based frequencies that you've had for your lifetime because you're back in it and you're purging, and you're directly facing each other with courage. You need to be in alignment to handle that. And if you can't, go away and have a talk to yourself about that and say, okay, what did Yildiz say about this? Let me ask myself those questions. You know, are you willing to take all of that on? And if you are, you're open. You know, can you hold a ship right now, all on your own, and it be fine? If you can't, you're not ready. Get the ship sorted. That's why I keep saying always look on your side of the fence, because it can get so much messier. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And it's work and it's team. There's no I in team. It's understanding that yes, you may be separate, but at the same time, do the work. Do the work on your side of the fence. If it's destined, it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it's not, you've tried. Do you know what I mean? And if you purge that person, I've always said, if you can literally say to yourself, that's it, I've had enough, I'm moving on. You don't just click your fingers and magically some beautiful person who's in high vibration is going to come into your life. And if they are, it's more than likely the handbag effect, I call it. They're there to suit a purpose for you because you're afraid of being alone, or they're there because you feel that you need to move forward and you're wasting your life. Well, loving someone is not a waste of your life. It's a vibration and it's something you feel. So by not acknowledging it, you're then getting to a point you're lying to yourself. So if you could get to a point where you could purge your twin, then you spend that time doing that and you be alone and you do the healing. And then if you feel vibrationally you're open and you're loving your life and everything's high vibration, 9 times out of 10, twins coming back. Because you've got into alignment. Notice the trend. You don't have to choose it. You can then at that point choose to be, and energetically, if it's destined, a high vibration soulmate will come to your life. Do you know what I mean? So if you could lie next to a person and truthfully say you would not think about another person, you're in alignment and you're ready and you can move forward. And if you're not, do the healing work, be fair to yourself, and acknowledge where you are in your journey. You can say to yourself, okay, check in with yourself. Am I still in love with my twin? Yes, no. Am I still angry? Am I still in pain? And, some of those painful experiences, they'll be with you for a lifetime, but you will look at them with, wow, I've achieved something, or wow, I've overcome that. It can be something. It's something directly for you. But you never leave empty-handed in your life. You are moving forward with memories, history, and it's with various situations in your life. It's not just, it's not empty. And you mustn't forget yourself, because you have yourself for your lifetime. So if you don't love yourself, if you don't care for yourself, if you don't listen to what you feel, you're not loving yourself. You're not caring for yourself. It's okay to sit there and hug yourself. And I've actually done that myself. I thought to myself, shit, I hug other people and I tell them how much I love them, but I haven't actually said to myself, I forgive you for being imperfect, or I love you, or you're a good person and you do the best you can. And it's okay to be flawed. We are flawed. We're human beings. Yeah. And that's that will really get down to it. And therapists do this. They're like, okay, so what are you feeling? And they dig and dig and dig and dig, and then bang, you find the core wound. And 9 times out of 10, it's got jack shit to do with that person. It's got to do with you. And that's why I'm saying a lot of childhood traumas coming up at the moment with the nodes and Cancer. It can be us losing our parents. It can be us, falling out with our parents. having issues with our children. Again, they're going through an awakening this year. So a lot of the younger generation all the way through to 2030 are going through a lot of frequency changes. Their cycles for the feminine energies are changing. It's topsy-turvy with them, and it's the moon energies changing that. They can be very abrupt, blunt, triggered, judgmental. But again, it's because they're purging and they're educating, and they're directly going to learn through frequencies of what we experienced, and you will see a synchronistic pattern happening. Okay, masculines. Let's have a look at them. Bless. Okay, the ones at the moment that are really stuck. This is what's going on with them, and it'll still be ones that you're dealing with. Let's have a look. The very first card off the bat. My hair's gone all fuzzy. By default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships. Okay, and we all do this. Believing, and this is what you've got to understand, sometimes you tend to look at yourself and you say, the reason why they go to other people is because they're better than me. Not really. It's never about a person. Even the shit we do is not about a person. It's about us. Look at the mirror, okay? It's sad when we have that realization in our life of our own given pattern. And feminines, you've done this too. Okay, so we've got to have compassion. Sometimes we feel unworthy of that love that's given, and it's the most profound love that's given to us, and this can be from anybody in our life. And we look at it and go, I'm not worthy because of childhood conditioning. There is no way, unless I give, I can receive. So you might have been a giver all your life. You might have been a rescuer. You might have been a victim. Whatever that be, those core wounds created this belief system in the masculine's life that the only way they could protect you was to push you away, that the reasons why these things come up in their life is because the belief system was that's what they were worth. They could have been patterning from childhood where they saw that within their family, and it's, you know, to a degree, it's their belief system that they held, but they're having a realization about that, and it's making them feel really sad. Again, childhood. They felt vibrations as young children, and it can be that they have children currently, some of them, and they're looking at it and they're reflecting back on their childhood, and they don't want that for their children. It can also be that they may have wanted children with you. It can also, a frequency coming through, again, I'm saying childhood, and again, it's like the moon energy. Picking up a bit more from that card, but I'll come back to it. Okay, this is interesting. The law of attraction assembles happy relationships. Now, this card's in reverse. Some of it was destined, that these things had to happen in order for us to learn certain lessons. And so, as much as you can sometimes look at it, it's a bit like saying, I'm going to be rich forever. And then a recession hits and we lose our cash. Some things are out of our control. And at the moment where they stand, there are certain situations of a karmic nature ending, and the karmic cycle has ended. This is what you've got to understand. We had, most of us in the third wave, had the awakening, okay? Well, yes, the awakening is still under process, but the enlightened state, we are in self-awareness now, and so are the masculines. So what they're experiencing is the 3D karmic cleanup. So it's happening, and it's almost like it's in the hangman position. They see the bigger picture, but I kept seeing a mountain, and it's like the mountain of cleanup, and we've got this on our side too, feminines. So what happens is they see multiple roads. Not one left, right, through the middle is wrong. but they all require mass cleanup. Okay, so in order to achieve that, they don't want to. If your twins are not moving towards you, it's because they energetically don't want to bring the toxicity to you, because they already know how much has been there. Yeah, they're lacking faith at the moment. Okay, this is in reverse. Our source is one of love and condemnation, not condemnation. So it's like believing that this was their karma, believing that this was their karma. And so they're allowing this vibration to be for your sake. It may be that some of them are saying, look, I made my bed, I've got to lie in it. It's temporary, but at the moment they're punishing themselves. They're allowing that vibration to come through. If they're dealing with you and they're copping it sweet, and it's not that you should attack. It's understanding compassionately why trigger points were there, why things were blocking them. They're making a sacrifice because they're living in that vibration. They're choosing to live there to punish themselves so it never happens again. But it's to see your face hurts them more, because when you're awoken and you see, it's like you've woken up and you've gone, shit, what have I done? And this is all of us in our life. When we do have that aha moment, God, you know, have I been worthy? I've manifested these things. They haven't been the most positive situations. I wanted a child with this person, but I had childhood wounds myself, and children in some shape have transformed the masculine. Things that were out of their control occurred to help energetically educate both sides. Punishing themselves and feeling that they needed to sense that vibration because it's more painful to look at you than to experience that, but that's still friggin' painful. But it's for you, not them. Till things are cleared up, finalising that cycle. I intend to co-create from a place of a positive attraction, and it's in reverse. So at the moment, until that vibration changes, they don't wish to manifest until they can get this sorted out. This is the current energy. It's not permanent. The reason the blockage is there is they're tying these loose ends up. I'll envision the behaviour I desire to inspire. They already have the vision of what they want. They already know, and they're coming from the heart and the head. They're being logical. They're doing what they feel is fair. If they do come towards you, they're still going to be in that higher vibration, but there's going to be the lag effect of toxicity. But it's not their fault. It's the aftermath. It's the aftermath of things that were out of both of our controls. Does that make sense? Any questions? I hope that helped. Now, if you want me to tune into your own individual energy, that's okay, Hartman. I know it related. Any advice for feminines? This is for Jen because she loves her animal totem cards. Okay. Okay, you don't have to fix this, right? You got this in reverse. You don't have to fix it. It will sort itself. You know, if you think you've done something wrong, the answer is no. Okay? Let it go. Okay, if you're wondering, have you changed enough? The answer is yes. Okay, accept your enemies. Accept them for who they are and find the lessons in it. Even if you feel the pain is the enemy, find the lesson in it. If you feel the journey is an enemy, find the lesson in it. don't feel that you're foolish for going down this path. It's destined. You know, what you've lived is part of your destiny. It's part of life. Shit happens. A lot of it. But what you're finding is you know who your enemies are. Don't get paranoid, though. Don't get to the point where you can't handle it. You learnt a lot last year. Okay. You need to pause and understand it's a temporary halt. You got the beaver. They're trying to do some foundation work. Now, if you're thinking you need to get everything perfect, get the home environment done, you can save them. You can't. You can't. You know why? Because they're the masculines. Let them be the masculines. Help and teamwork is different. Getting to a point you feel that you need to rescue a person, it won't work with the masculines. The masculines are the masculines, okay? And look, you can be a feminine and be the masculine frequency. But you want to be respected in that frequency, okay? Yeah, the dark night of the soul, I call it Event Horizon. Go look at the movie and you'll understand. It's a bit like all your deepest, darkest fears. It's a bit like falling down a tunnel. Where every aspect's coming at you. It's a very, very deep, dark place. Very deep, dark. Never experienced it before. I had an aspect of it years ago shut down. Definitely with the awakening, the Kundalini, it can open and close and stop because you're blocked. So I'll do separate videos on that, which will be over on the other channel. But you're going to have to bear with me because obviously I'm going through a transition myself, changing the business, a lot more people in my own environment at the moment coming and going, changing locations, twin flame work with my own twin. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. But yeah, don't look. Yes, March is going to be full on. The energy at the moment I'm doing the reading for is to get you guys grounded. If you do need a reading during March, touch base with me, especially if you're triggered. You're going to need, because alignment's very important in the twin flame journey. If you do get to a point you're super triggered, it can delay. Okay, so if you do need to get grounded and gain perspective in the thick of it, touch base, book a reading ASAP. Someone came into your house, but you missed them. Probably because you're wanting it to go fast track, Dawn. When you tune into it, detach and release it, and you'll find it'll move forward again. I discussed mine with my twin. He just listened. But yeah, slight conversations come up, but if your twin's coming in, it's because you let it go. So you probably won't really have the need. You might explain it more from a perspective point of growing, like after the fact of what you were enlightened to through the process of healing. That tends to come up, but not so much all the BS. Otherwise, you haven't evolved. How do they differ? Soulmate is a high vibration being that you end up with that you could potentially be with forever, through your whole life. Less trigger points, twin flame mass trigger points. 2 you can get into alignment, and sometimes there can be years in between. You know, some of the twin flame readers talk about a 10-year turnaround. It's shit. It's a crock of shit. It's your twin flame journey is how fast you heal. There's no time frame on it. Yeah. I believe you only have one twin flame, personally. But you will have a catalyst soulmate that is very similar to your twin flame. So then there is the connection on the same level. No. You'll find there's more telepathic connection. You'll get the vibration of their pain body experience more so. You can get nauseous. You can get anxious. Hi, Luciana. You've got a higher degree of telepathy with the twin flame. Yeah. It's like you've known them forever. What would you like to know, Ashley? I'm seeing a new career. Is there anything I may need to know? Yeah, there is a lot of activity going on. That doesn't happen in a twin flame journey. Stress less. Think of it as a holiday. It's very funny. On the last occasion, it was like I thought something come over me one day, and it was like they're coming back, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready. Look, with the twin flame, you will even get to a point where you will be, if you felt they were happy, you'd be happy for them. You get to a very comfortable place where you do need to spiritually come to a place you can be okay with or without them. You prefer not to, but you would. But in the early stages, it's different. Anything's potential. I mean, the Indians used to use certain things to have an enlightened state, but I'm all for the organic food. Oh, no. Okay, and here's another thing. Feminines, my highest advice is I need to smoke to even talk about this shit and subject. I had a conversation with an anonymous, and I would like to say that when you guys are getting very tense, very agitated, you need to exercise. You need to deplete that stress. Okay? I'm just saying, because look, let's be honest. If you're not getting your candy shop and you're agitated and you're pissed and you're not exercising, it's not going to be pretty. Please exercise. Go and do something to get your frequency, okay? Go for a jog, get a punching bag, sweat your energy out, have your bloody cold shower, because if you don't get the energy out, you're a high vibration energy being. You're going to blow up, okay? And a cold friggin' shower. So go and get that sorted, especially when you're getting highly agitated. You've got a lot coming at you. Okay. the connection between soulmate twin flames is it kind of regenerates that frequency and depletes it when necessary. When you are not in a connection, you do need to exercise to deplete that frequency. Well, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, it's a very comfortable place to get to when you're quite happy with just being on your own. Please let me know if you can see my past connection with work in relation to what? It's kind of a rhetorical question. It's like, oh, we got a newbie. There's always one in the house, isn't there? As an empath, you will be, but it can be the environment itself, doll. But yes, make sure you do exercise because that's going to help you. 2. Good morning, Triple Libra. Yeah. It probably needs cleansing. Yes. So do de-stress with exercise during Mercury retrograde. You're going to be busy anyway, so good old global warming. Well, we may be inclined to have more earthquakes, volcanic activities with Neptune at the moment, and that's going to be all the way through the year. Heavier during the lunar eclipses, which is mid-year. It's coming up again. So we do have a fairly, you're going to find this year is going to shove everyone into alignment, into the correct piece of the puzzle. So we have some retrogrades happening, some more eclipses. We then have some more direct motion, which will push us forward. Each total eclipse will mean another 6-month transition of us working in a particular area. And then at the end of the year, we got it again. So when you look at the astrology, you're like, oh, fuck. Wow. Look after yourself with the snow. Yeah. Well, it's already getting cooler here in Perth, WA, and it does get pretty hectic, erratic weather. One day it feels like winter, the next day it feels like summer, and summer did actually come quite late this year. And I do feel that pay attention to the ants, pay attention to the environment. This year I did notice a lot more humid species, as in more dragonflies, more butterflies. Particular species will denote a change in the weather, including ant activity. So yes, we are having, in hotter climates, we are going to have wetter climates, and in cooler climates, we're going to have warmer times. It's like it's having a shift. Like I said, the younger generation at the moment are going to be a bit hectic because they're going through an aspect of an awakening. So just sort of gauge it. It'll be similar things you've been through on your journey, but you'll also find that there will always be that one special child, and more children will be coming through that are quite spiritual. And you'll know when their behaviour's off, they'll start acting very aggressive and angry, and the house will need cleansing. And it's because energies have latched onto them and they're having spiritual upgrades. So just pay attention to that. But I will leave it at this tonight. Again, if you are wishing to make a booking, you can go to the link below. Thank you to my moderators. I appreciate it. And those of you who have liked the video, thank you, because it does actually get it out for other twin flames to actually get this information. Yeah, most welcome, Triple Libra. Yeah, just get them some crystals this month, guys, you know, for your kids if they're really triggered. Cleanse your house. Get some psychic protection crystals. Get some amethyst and citron as well to help purge any negativity. Most welcome. See you on the other side, guys. I'm yet to do the twin